Carrie. Folks, just to let you know, we're live streaming. That's begun now, so everything we say is being recorded, able for you to be searched later without going through the standard right of no request. It's on Robeson Review. So we keep that going throughout the meeting. Should we not be in the room, that's still running. From time to time, we leave for various reasons. But if you're intending to speak this evening, we have a public comment section. I don't know how many of you have been here before. I see some new faces, and I certainly welcome them. We have an agenda, we have a website. I don't know how many of you have been on there. We continue to work on that, but I had hoped we'd have a little nicer weather. We seemed like we had a little blip of it, but I'm glad we didn't get more snow. I think our road department has had enough for the year. So we start close as we can here at 7, and if you haven't seen the agenda, we try to follow that as best we can. Thank you. Wouldn't mind asking if you silenced your phones. If you have those, sometimes they just pop up. Never have enough room.
If you haven't, please sign in.
That's not requiring you to volunteer for anything. That's just in case we ever contact you or need to contact, we kind of keep at least an idea, but that's not committing you to service of any type.
I wasn't gonna read it, my phone was too small. I went back and these are their own, how many meetings for the parties.
Right. That one must be your sticky.
I don't, it's in the town, I don't know exactly.
Well, this, I don't know where it came from. I mean, just have to think of it.
Put it on.
Yeah,
The big yellow one?
I have all kinds of stickers.
I was kind of hoping to say,
One for every
be
occasion.
ready by, hopefully, by like next week, it could be ready to.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I won't be one week away. I figure it's not like, it doesn't get done until next month.
Definitely not.
It's been 2 years.
Yes, and I think as long as we.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of, I guess, fortuitous it didn't work for
No
it.
point.
It wasn't, right.
It's done.
Our official timekeeper says 7 o'clock. I'd asked you if you would rise after a second. I'm going to call the meeting to order and ask that we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence, please.
I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. A roll call. Mr. Rhodes. Here. Mr. Gullo. Here. Ms. Fix.
Here.
Mr. Steve. Here. And I'm here. Typically, on item 2 of the agenda, we have a citizens' concern section. And while it suggests a 3-limit limitation, we're not hard and fast on that rule. I would ask, however, that if something's already been expressed and there's nothing new, we might not want to repeat things. So on that note, I'll open it up. If anybody has a request, I'd ask you to raise your hand. Please state your name for the record and stand. Ma'am, you're first.
Lori Ziegler, why isn't the office open?
The office is open.
There's nobody there, there's no secretaries.
Office is open every day.
I called the other day and it wasn't open.
Nobody answered maybe, but there's somebody there.
The secretaries are there?
No secretaries aren't there, but somebody's
No,
answering the phone.
But somebody's there?
Yes.
Right, right.
There's not. There's not.
Okay,
We have
well,
no office
There was
staff.
days that it was closed, right?
Okay.
And I think you need to know. the
Sorry, you're
truth.
being
There was days that
misled.
it was closed and you're being misled right now.
well, what I
It's
would
not
like
open.
is if one person could talk at a time. Right now, the
Okay.
lady has the
I'll
floor.
go first. No, you're correct. The office has been closed for several hours and some full days.
And the reason why?
What day was it fully closed? I'm unaware.
Harold, just because you walked in for 30 minutes doesn't mean the office was open all day.
I'm
The
presuming-
road crew was actually telling people that it was closed as they were stopping by because nobody was there to open the doors and the door was locked, so.
And I would imagine
it's
the
been
road
closed.
crew might not be correct. However, I'd asked our solicitor,
Door
this is a
locked.
personnel matter. And as such, there's not a whole lot, we can say. Is that not correct, Mr. Morrell?
There's some
Yeah.
details we could probably say. I don't think it's everything that can't be said. I think it just doesn't want to be said.
Well, obviously, there's investigation pending, so that'll be resolved.
I mean, we can-
We've, have
Let 'em know
labor
why it's
council,
closed.
we have labor council, and council, is involved in several fronts. Several different issues he's been asked to address.
Okay, so it's under advisement for right now.
Correct.
Okay.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name's Nicole Wisniewski. I'm just here tonight to speak in support of Officer Rimby and the leadership that he's demonstrated in our community. Public safety is one of the most important responsibilities of township leadership. It requires consistency, visibility, trust, and strong relationships, especially within our schools. Officer Rimby has shown all of those qualities and more. His presence in our schools has made a meaningful difference. Students know him, parents know him, and the staff know him. He is not just an officer who shows up, he's engaged, approachable, and proactive. That kind of presence builds trust with our children at a young age and strengthens the relationship between law enforcement and the community. In today's world, having a visible, steady police presence in our schools is not optional, it is essential. Officer Rimby has taken that responsibility seriously. He has shown professionalism, sound judgment, and a commitment to keeping our students safe while also being someone they feel comfortable talking to. Beyond the schools, his leadership within the department and the township reflect dedication and stability. Strong leadership in law enforcement directly impacts morale, response, and community confidence. Those qualities should be recognized and valued. The decision is bigger than politics or personal opinions. It's about what's best for our township, our families, and our children. I encourage the township leadership to consider the consistency, experience, and trust that Officer Jason Rimby brings to this role, to make him chief under contract, not at will. Our community benefits from steady, committed leadership, and that is exactly what he has demonstrated. Thank you for your time and the work you do for our township.
Any other?
Well said, thank you.
Anybody else like to speak? If not, we'll go ahead.
Hi. I'm Carrie Mounts, 2482 Hay Creek Road. I'm the Robeson Township tax collector. I just wanted to let everyone know that the tax bills are out for 2026. And if anyone doesn't receive it because of snail mail, please call me and I'll be happy to get another one out to you via text, email, snail mail again. Whatever may work. I also wanted to let the residents know that if a check comes in and it's not correct, I am door knocking. So please don't shoot the tax collector. Or I was out at 6 houses last night and 4 today. But we managed to get some checks cashed. It's easy to write 2025 or 226 or so I try to stop out because the mail is terrible and I'm afraid people aren't gonna get the checks back in time to get back to me. So, again, if anybody has any questions, just feel free to reach out to me.
You want to tell me when the next sitting day is?
That's a good question, Harold. It's April, so we already had one. We normally do one in March. The next sitting date will be April 17th, which is a Friday, at the township from 10 to 12. Just know that I do have a drop box at my home too at 2482 Hay Creek Road. so you guys can pull in. People use it all the time instead of putting it in the mail, just because the mail's wonderful, as we all know. So feel free to use that, or if you need a special appointment, I'm always available.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? If not, we're gonna move on to our correspondence, Roman numeral.
I do, I have another question, sorry. Lori Ziegler again. I read somewhere on Facebook about Mr. Rimby here not being protected. Could you tell me what that meant?
No. I
As
mean,
if he took the chief, it said if he took the, not acting chief, but if he took the chief's position, he would not be protected. Could somebody please explain that to me?
not,
He would not be in, as part of the FOP anymore, right? It would be under a contract, so what, whoever said that, what they meant of protection is
Is that what they
the
meant?
union protection, yeah.
Could
I
that
believe
be
that's what they
changed at all? That if he did take the,
No,
I
that
don't
cannot
think
be
it can be,
changed?
no,
no.
chief's not part of the bargaining unit.
Yeah.
okay, I wasn't sure, I just wanted to know.
There's different protections officers have between,
Okay,
chiefs have, but they're not part of the bargaining unit.
okay.
thank you. All right, moving on to Roman numeral 3, we have some correspondence, a note there at our financial interest
Yeah,
statements.
we have to get them in, Maggie just gave me hers. The other thing is there is, PA Correction Industry sent out, I made a copy of it and put it in the thing. What it appears to do is like we wanted park benches or we wanted something made, we can contact them and see whether, they could make it for us. So it's not like we're gonna bring them to the playground and have them pick up sticks or something, they'll be wherever their house.
Okay. Then Roman numeral 4, Acting Chief Rimby.
Thank you, Board. First thing on the agenda for tonight is the patrol car repair. As you guys are aware, 31-6, we had a little incident where one of the officers struck a deer in the township. It was a common thing that normally happens in Robeson Township. We received one quote to have it fixed, and it was $336.58. We're obtaining a second quote. I was wondering if the board would, if you need to put a motion on the table to maybe a limit that I could get it fixed, if you guys would be okay with that, or if it's under the $336.58.
Our deductible's way more than that, so. I'll make a motion that we authorize up to $500 for the car repair.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor. Any discussion on that motion? If not, Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Gullo,
Yes.
Ms. Fix,
Yes.
Mr. Steve.
Yes.
No, I'll vote yes.
Thank you, Board. The second thing I have on my agenda is a resolution for a body camera grant. So I received an email from the Berks County Chiefs of Police Association that there is a 1-to-1 in-kind body camera grant that's out there that had to be submitted by today. I stopped down to talk to Harold and told him of the recent problem that we just had. So our cameras, our batteries are swelling, and they're not good, and the cameras aren't lasting even half the shift. So we tried going ahead and purchasing some of the batteries for spare batteries, and we found out that they are no longer servicing our body cameras anymore, and they are no longer making any batteries. So we were able to obtain some batteries from China, which we still have not received. We placed that order a couple weeks ago. So I asked Harold if he thought it would be a good idea to apply for the grant, and he agreed. So I went ahead and applied for it. I applied for $18,000, which is the most we could apply for. Now, the cameras itself were probably gonna be right around $40,000, so we'd have to come up with that other $22,000 if we would get the grant. Either way, we have a problem coming ahead because of the body cameras.
And that's why we were gonna do a resolution, but we didn't get the resolution done because we didn't have all the information.
Yeah.
But, I said, Jason, I think we should at least get a motion where we get a commitment, for the 22,000, before, if it's granted. Cause it's gotta come out of somewhere.
What are you suggesting, Mr. Steve?
I'll make a motion that we, the township put up the 22,000 in the event that the, police get their grant for 18,000 to cover the cost of the body cameras.
Do I have a second on that?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ms. Fix. Is there any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, I'll say Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Gullo,
Yes.
Ms. Fix,
Yes.
Mr. Steve,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes.
Thank you, Board. The next thing I have on my agenda is a resolution for the closure of Furnace Road for the Hay Creek Valley Historical Association events. This year would be the 50th anniversary of the Hay Creek Festival. They are requesting that it be closed from Friday to Sunday, which would be September 11th through the 13th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. They are requesting that the Hay Creek Apple Festival, the road be closed from Saturday and Sunday, October 11th, or 10th and 11th, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and the 26th annual Christmas at Joanna, Friday through Sunday, which would be December 4th through the 6th, from 4 to 9 p.m.
And that will be resolution 2026-07.
Do I hear a motion to that effect with respect to 2607?
07.
I'll make a motion. We approve resolution 2026-07 for the closure of Furnace Road for the furnace events.
Motion made by Mr. Rhodes. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Steve. Any discussion? If not, Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Gillo,
Yes.
Ms. Fix,
Yes.
Mr. Steve,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes.
Thank you, Board. And then I don't have anything else on the agenda, but I did make, I guess, a letter here that I would like to read, if the board would be okay with it, due to everything that's happening, I guess, with the chief's position that's become open, and with all the support, I guess, that's here.
I don't have any objection.
Okay. So this township means a great deal to me. It's not just where I work, it's home. I have friends here, family here, and people I care deeply about who live in this community. That's why every day I try to help build a police department that treats people the right way, with compassion, fairness, and respect. I've always believed that policing is more about, I always believe that policing is about more than enforcement. It's about serving the people and protecting the community we all share. Everything I've done has been with the goal of making this police department something the residents of this township can be proud of. No matter what the future holds, I will always stand by what I believe is right for the residents of this township and for the officers who put on the uniform and serve alongside of me every day. Their support tonight truly means more to me than anything I can put in words, and I will never take that for granted. One of the goals that has always been especially important to me was being present at our elementary school every day. I believe it's important that our children see their police officers not just in difficult moments, but as people they can trust and talk to. Being there gives us the opportunity to build relationships with them, to show them what doing the right thing looks like, to let them know they are supported, and most importantly, to make sure they always feel safe. I truly consider the children of this community as if they were my own, and that is the truth. I am grateful for the opportunity to serve as acting chief and to lead the dedicated men and women of this department. My focus remains on doing what's best for the residents of this township and ensuring our officers have the support they need to serve in this community safely and professionally. I believe it's important that we continue to build a strong working relationship between the police department and the board, based on communication, transparency, and mutual respect. Our shared goal should always be the safety and well-being of this community.
Thank you. And that concludes your report?
That's all I have.
I just want to make one comment, and that is, the person that was issued the citation for soliciting without a permit multiple times was not very happy about the $1,000 fine, but I don't think they'll be back without a permit.
I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
Oh, you issued more than one?
The one recently who just filed for the permit?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So suffice it to say, folks, until recently, we haven't had a solicitation real procedure, and we've done that a few years ago, particularly protecting the elderly, not that they're more subject necessarily to door-to-door solicitation, but because particularly post-COVID, more and more people were, outside. So, good job, thank you, and with no further ado, we'll move on to the monthly expenses, the treasurer's report there in your packet. Are there any questions?
That was all emailed to you guys.
All right, they're in the packet, are there any questions? If not, from an administrative issue, we have a chief of police application. All of you are aware that we have advertised and posted for chief of police, and that's time period's running out. And we're take the next step to figure out a way moving forward to get a chief of police. Acting Chief Rimby has the ability, like everybody else, to apply. I don't know if he has. I was told multiple times by Supervisor Rhodes and Supervisor Steve that he wasn't interested. Having said that, we don't need to get into interest levels and not. If he applies and he's selected for the interview process, then we would move forward with that. Are there any ideas on the next step?
I emailed out all the applications. I think we need to cut this thing off. The website originally had it the 13th, and I don't know whether we need to make a motion to make it the 13th. My concern is that the longer we wait, some of these people are going to start finding other jobs.
Right. So you're making a motion to close at the 13th?
I'll make that motion at 4 o'clock on the 13th.
Is
Am
there
I
a
able to ask a quick question?
Well, let's hold on a second.
Okay.
Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion on that motion among the board? If not, we'll take a question from the audience.
I think all of us wanna know, because I've seen all the grumbling on Facebook. Obviously, I came here to support Officer Rimby. I have a stepchild that goes to Robeson, who, as he said, he's developed a relationship with her. She looks up to him, she looks up to Scott, as a firefighter, and so those two positions I appreciate deeply, but I think it's important for us to know as township residents. I think a lot of people are here in support of Jason tonight. I happen to be the person that spoke, I had something prepared. What is the issue? Like, why? Let me just, can I please finish? So we have the understanding that Jason would love the position, but does not wanna be in a position where if he conflicts with the board or whatever that looks like, that he then is at will and could be fired. I mean, let's put the pieces on the table and let's talk about the issue at hand. Is that correct? Am I on target?
I don't think you're necessarily on target, but he's had an opportunity to apply.
Right, but
He's not.
why not? Like,
He's,
if he has
that's up,
done
that's
the
up to
job
him, man.
well,
That's up to him. Now,
so what's the
No.
what's the conflict though?
I don't know that there is a conflict. What I'm suggesting is we've had applications. Chief Castle retired in June of 2024. At that time, it was decided that we would open it up, and our obligation, in my opinion, as a supervisor, is to get the best candidate.
Yeah, Jason's
And-
the best.
Well,
guy.
he may be,
He absolutely
and
is.
he'll know that by going through, and we'll know that by going through the process.
What's his protection if he
Okay.
takes a job
Well,
and,
I can't answer that question other than I am familiar with the contracts we've had in the past.
okay,
The contracts in the past, the last contract, I won't comment on the specific because that was under then Chief Castle. It's kind of renews yearly, but that's the way it's always been. And I'll state to you, that's not something I'm interested in changing. We'll go as we've gone before, and we'll go as we have to go, not being a member of the union. So, having said that, moving forward, we now have to notify these candidates. Do you have any ideas, Mr. Steve, on a way you might?
Did you finish the vote?
Oh, I'm sorry. So there was a motion and a second, discussions over to close at 4 PM the 13th, the applications for police. Mr. Rhodes,
No.
Mr. Gulo,
No.
Ms. Fix,
Yes.
Mr. Steve,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. I see another question.
I have a question, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to, or we're allowed to know this. Have there been applicants for the chief's position?
Absolutely.
Okay. I
We're
wasn't sure.
gonna be reviewing those and establishing a procedure hopefully here tonight.
Oh, I have a question?
Hold on, ma'am. It's important that you stand and again, state your name.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Lori Ziegler, can we keep it as him acting chief and not hire chief and keep everything the way it is? And everybody in the township would just be happy.
Well, I don't know that they would, but I'll answer that question. I'm not in favor of that. So we need a chief. We need the chief under the normal, what I'll call normal circumstances.
Is he gonna get a fair shot, in your opinion?
Absolutely.
Is he? The residents that you visited the other weekend and told them that you would never be chief under your chairman.
I don't think so.
Oh, I have
You
it
said
written,
Tim.
buddy.
You said
I
it.
don't think so.
I'll pull the statements,
so-
I
so
have it
there's a-
The
written.
lies continue, folks.
There's
The lies
a
continue.
motion, is there a motion to move this matter
I think
forward?
I can still talk. Am I allowed to talk?
Yeah, you're allowed to talk.
Oh,
You're
thank you, Jeff.
supervisor, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just, a lot of residents reached out to me about your door-to-door excursions the other weekend, when people, made anything in favorable comments of Acting Chief Rimby, and how you stated multiple times under your leadership he would never have the opportunity to be chief, and you actually want him out of the department.
It's time the public hears the details, folks.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, there's
Now's
camera
the time.
recordings
Trying to
of
sneak it through all the time.
people's porches that have recorded you on their
Yep.
porch having nose-to-nose arguments,
Those
screaming
exact
at
words, too. It's time the public sees what's going on down here.
Are you gentlemen done?
them. No, I'm never done, but I'll be quiet for a moment.
Ma'am, you have a question?
My name's Rachel Ekman. I do have a question for council, right?
Sure.
So he keeps lying in front of everybody. Isn't there anything that we can do as a township to hold him accountable for that?
Ma'am,
Because isn't
ma'am,
there
when you
like a
say,
statute for
when you
false
say he,
information?
are you directing that at me, ma'am?
No, I asked council.
No, are you pointing at me as someone who keeps lying?
Yes.
Okay.
So if our board members are found, like they're saying they have them on videotape, they're saying that they have multiple people that would perhaps sign an affidavit that he is being untruthful and accounts of their conversations. And on a legal standpoint, can't we as a township hold him accountable?
I would
Since
say
he's
for
in a
you,
powerful position?
for you, the citizen, you can seek your own counsel, but, you know, it's not the role of solicitor to give advice to citizens. That's between you and your own counsel.
Okay, I was just curious, cause I didn't know, like, to see the conflict in, this is my first meeting,
Right.
but to see the conflict and to see some gentleman obviously not getting along and calling somebody out online, I'm just curious of like what the next steps would be.
That's my answer, yeah.
Okay.
Sir, you had a question
Yes,
or comment?
Jason Ketter. I think the bottom line here is you've got 5 people up there and somebody's lying. All right? Somebody's lying, obviously, because you say no and he says yes. So watching the meetings before, and I watch them online, Mr. Bittler, when you don't get your way, you throw a fit like a 3-year-old girl. And now you have your way, and you're trying to run the township the way that you think it should run for you, not for the people.
100%.
And that is the problem, because those 2 gentlemen there are looking out for your best interests as well as the police officer. We just had a cop killed in Honeybrook. These guys would lay their life down for you, and you. But somebody's lying. Who's lying? Somebody's lying. I just want to know who. So I think between the 5 of you, you need to figure out who's lying and tell the people honestly what's going on. Because I'm tired of hearing it. And this is what just keeps happening. Lies, lies, lies. You're elected officials. You're not bombing Iran here. You're running a township. And I think you ought to do it with a little respect and a little dignity instead of fighting all the time. Thank you.
I'd like to move forward with the police applications.
You say nothing, like why do you say nothing? I mean, clearly there's a conflict here. You've gone around to township residents, I'm gonna excuse myself after this, so you can stop eyeballing me from your seat, let me tell you that. I'm a daughter of a Marine and the granddaughter of a decorated Marine, so don't stare at me because I have an opinion. This man, that man, and Mr. Rhodes, I don't know you, but I look up to the people that speak out against this nonsense. This man back here, just met him today, first time at a township meeting. Jason absolutely is the chief you're looking for. This township showed up tonight. They're all over online. Scott has spoken out. Jeff has spoken out. That's what we're here for. So you want to keep moving stuff forward. Let me tell you something. You are elected officials. Used to, in my opinion, are where you're supposed to be. But the nodding and just agreeing to get this to be pushed forward and not acknowledging the fact that you have your chief sitting right there is disgusting to me. So I'm gonna excuse myself now because I have to get back to work. However, you have a township of people looking at you for answers and you're offering none, sir. None. Let's just move this forward. Let's just move it forward. Nonsense.
The answer is, ma'am, that we will conduct interviews and the best
It's a
candidate.
lousy answer. There's a conflict. You have told people in the township on camera that he'll never have a shot at that position. How do you respond to that, sir? How do you respond to it?
I have no response.
Exactly. So let's get some footage out there, and then maybe you'll have a response for us in the township.
Maybe I will.
This is our chief.
We'll see.
Understood.
We'll
I hope
see.
you understand.
Can we
You'll
go
see.
off of the footage, him directly then? Can't this police officer sue him directly then?
Ma'am, if you want to stand and state your name, please.
Rachel. If there's footage, then can't this officer just sue him for defamatory conduct? Like, wouldn't that be the thing and then elect him out of office? Is that the simplest fix to the problem? It's a rhetorical question, I guess.
Is that it? All right. We're looking for a process to conduct the interviews. Mr. Rimby, if you haven't, Acting Chief Rimby, excuse me, if you haven't applied, feel free. I'm looking for a motion. Have any ideas?
I did reach out to Dennis Castle, and he's willing to.
For those of you who are new or don't know, Dennis Castle is our past chief. I'm sorry for interrupting. Hold on, sir, let him finish his thought.
And he is willing to lead the interviews.
Okay, it's a good idea, in my opinion. How about the committee, or how about who's gonna be interviewing with him?
The suggestion is at least 2 supervisors,
Okay, do you
or
have
no
two,
more than 2 supervisors.
do you have 2 supervisors in mind?
I don't. I'd be willing to do it. If somebody else wants to do it with me, that'd be great.
How about,
But the supervisors are not asking any questions. They're just there to observe.
how about you and Mr. Rhodes, Supervisor Rhodes, and Chief Castle, former Chief Castle, acting as the lead negotiator, securing like Act 47, I believe it is that the correct act, Counselor? For the police, is it 57?
Yeah.
57, I'm sorry, including obtaining all the clearances, et cetera. Sounds like a workable way forward. Is that what you're suggesting?
That would be fine.
All right, so is that your motion that you, assuming former Chief Castle accepts it?
Is Jeff agreeable to that?
Want to do that, Mr. Rhodes?
Sure, I'll agree to that.
All right, so is that your motion, Mr. Steve?
Yes.
So the motion, as I understand it, and we'll restate it, do we have a second?
Do I have to make the motion first?
He did,
Okay,
and I'm just gonna restate it so we're all clear what we're voting on. You're seconding it?
I'll second it, yeah.
All right, so as I understand Mr. Rhodes, or Mr. Steve's motion, assuming former Chief Castle is agreeable to serve in the lead role as lead negotiator, lead interviewer, I'm sorry, Supervisor Rhodes and Supervisor Steve will work to schedule, review the applications and schedule those interviews, subject to the obtaining of all the clearances we need, Act 57. Is that the gist of what you're doing?
Yes.
All right, so then I'll ask if there's any other discussion on that motion. If not, I'll call for a vote. Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mr. Gullo?
No.
Ms.
The
Phipps?
decision will be made to my right, so.
Ms. Phipps?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yeah.
And I'll vote yes. Appointment of a deputy tax collector, motion requested. This is another resolution, Mr. Steve?
It is. It is the appointment of Derek Kaiser, our current tax collector, has found it necessary to replace our deputy.
We're referring to you, correct, Ms. Mel?
Correct, so, just to explain to the residents and the board what has happened is, Carnarvon Township, sorry, I feel like my back's towards everyone. Carnarvon Township's, tax collector is no longer Carnarvon Township's tax collector. So that was our deputy for 8 years. So what has to happen is they currently don't have a tax collector, so, and unfortunately, because we're already into the tax season, I'm not able to go to a neighboring township to obtain a deputy. So what I decided to do is go to a resident that, that I know that will fit the role, and do a great job in the event that I'm unable to. So let's hope that never happens. But, so I chose Derek Kaiser, great local resident, ran Plowville baseball for many, many years. In the event that I'm unable to, again, he'll do a great job for us.
And he's also bondable.
Yes, he's bondable, which is very important in this job. So he will be going to the bank and getting added to the account with me this
So
week.
you need a motion for that effect?
Yeah, so
for
I
that
need a
resolution.
motion for resolution to add Derek as the deputy.
I'll make the motion to appoint deputy tax collector via resolution 2026-08.
Do we have a second on that?
I'll second the motion.
I don't believe there'd be any discussion. Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
Thank you, board.
The next item C,
That's
that's
a mistake that I left on there,
That's
even
a
after somebody brought it to my
carryover.
attention.
the next item D, a stock Alfrey agreement. That is for, what, Mr. Steve?
Motion that we made last meeting to hire them.
Oh, you're talking about
pending,
Attorney Stock and his counsel on labor-related issues.
Correct,
So the board approved that 4-1, and we'll ratify that tonight. That was subject to receiving his retainer, which we've received.
we have.
Okay, so I'll make that motion, we ratify that. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ms. Fix. All those in favor? Mr. Rhodes?
No.
Mr. Gullo?
Nope.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Mr. Parkside Pop-Up, what is a pop-up?
Okay, so this is an event, and this was actually included in your packets. This is a person that wants to come to the park, rent the park, doesn't want to rent the pavilion, and they want to put food trucks out, and they want to sell vendors' tables.
You mean sell tables themselves?
Yeah,
I thought it wasn't supposed to be a fundraiser. You're telling me it is?
it certainly sounds that way. It's not like a for-profit thing. And, and that's why I brought to the board, it did not sound like something that was conducive to what we do at the park.
Oh, when do they need to know? It's not till June, correct?
What's that?
When do they need to know?
The sooner the better.
All right, well, let's table that till
She called
next
again
week.
today about the application.
Can we table it till next week, or do you want to turn it down pending more
I
information?
don't care. I
Does
just
the board
don't
have any
call
other
that-
thoughts? Just think about it 1 week. I'll look at it a little closer.
Yeah, we can talk about it Thursday.
Excuse me, Mr. Rhodes?
I think we can talk about it next Thursday if you want.
All right.
What's that?
We'll talk it on, put that on the agenda, keep that on the agenda. So, packet of photo flags. All right. Last month, we asked for, 2 months ago, you were instrumental in this, correct? In your packet, you have a flag drop-off, I guess manufactured by a Boy Scout?
Correct.
Okay. And we'll put that here at the township at a nice, or convenient location, so the flags are properly retired. In addition to that, there you go. Can you see that, guys? So that was made by our scouts. What troop number, if I may ask?
It's Troop 543, and that was his Eagle project, was to create flag drop-off boxes, and we actually do a flag retirement ceremony.
All right, well, we'll be anxious to look at that flag retirement ceremony, but I've had that question. In addition, we'll be getting a drug drop-off for prescription drugs, whatever, once we get that all cleared out. So we have a lot of things that we're on the move with here. Alls I can do is stay tuned.
Where do we really want to put this thing?
Well, let's talk about that after we see it. Can we drop it off?
Sure.
All right, drop it off. We're gonna take a look at it, and looking forward to that. 642 zoning violation photos.
The citation, for court is in here, as well as the photos of the property.
You're involved with that?
It's, I don't make count, April 9th, I think, is the, hearing for that.
Apparently somebody may not have done something that they were supposed to, or vice versa.
There's, excess, vehicles on the property, abandoned vehicles on the property.
Okay. Moving on to Roman numeral 7. Any update, Mr. Rhodes?
No update.
And I have no update. I see representative of a fire company here, Mr. Fick.
Before we move on, while we're on the comments, the trailer at Golf Course in 10 that we've identified as being in the right of way and not being proper, he's asking for 90 days to get rid of it. But one of the things in his letter, and it was included in packets, one of the things in his letter is that he does not, after the 90 days, if he doesn't remove it, he wants to apply then for a zoning variance. And I don't think that that's a good idea. I think that either does it in the 90 days or we cite it.
All right, so what's your suggestion?
My suggestion is we get back to him and say that that portion of the, is not acceptable, and he either removes it in the 90 days or we start the process. Because
Was the original agreement 90 days, he'd have to have that, or is he, that's just?
we actually never had an agreement with him. He right away came out with the letter from Gillen and the whole thing. And Ted went out and started enforcement action against him and asked when he come in and apply for the zoning variance. But when applying, he said he was have it out of there in 90 days. Well, if you're gonna get it out of there in 90 days, it makes no sense to apply for a variance, which costs us money and him. And if the goal is to get rid of it, then in 90 days, that's what you need to do.
Okay, so that's all in order.
You've been in contact with them?
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. It's gonna cost more for an application for him than it costs the township money too.
Yeah. So, I mean,
90 days, be done.
Yeah.
can you reach out to them and tell them to get rid of that paragraph or that sentence?
Okay to proceed? Mr. Fix, fire company, anything?
My report was submitted.
Report is there, and for those of you who are following along, as it relates to Gibraltar Fire Company, I think they've been certainly making the calls.
We're making great progress. We have about 30 people that show up now and then, but we're always looking for more. We're not only looking for firefighters, we're looking for help all the way around.
Okay, do we have a representative of Friendship here or not?
How are the gas cards right now?
Good. I think I filled every truck up this week.
Sorry to hear that.
All right, Friendship, we have a representative here?
He'll be here next week.
Okay,
And the EMS flyer from the ambulance is in your packet.
okay, in your packet, you also have minutes, expenses, and reports. I think we can approve all of those at,
The minutes will be for the workshop I'll have for next week.
okay, so we can do all those on Thursday. You can see we have all kind of sewer reports, a road report. I think we can move on. There's nothing new from the village library, correct? I think we can move on to planning and engineering.
Good evening, board. Couple items here, and I will tell you now, I did put it in my email to you. I will not be here at your regular meeting. I apologize, I will be out of town. First item that I have is a time extension for Cedar Hill Estates. This is the residential project off Cedar Hill Road, adjacent to Birdsboro. The planning commission recommended the 90-day time extension. However, they did so expressing some concern with the fact that this developer had not been in with this project or an update recently, and also that the talk of the data center on that property was looming as well. So they would like to see some direction taken in these 90 days that they recommended. So that was their recommendation to the board.
I'll make a motion that we accept the time extension with provision that they come in the next 90 days and give us a full update on what's going on with that property.
Is there a second to that motion? I'll second it. Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Mrs. Fix?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
I will convey that to their engineer. Next item that I have is another time extension. This is for 34 Wesley Road. This is the barn at the intersection of Wesley and Route 10. They had submitted a plan to the Planning Commission several months back, and the plan was lacking in detail, I will say, and contains a number of what could be zoning concerns that would require relief. So they submitted a time extension request, requesting a time extension to December 31st, and this is a typo in my report, I apologize, 2026. The Planning Commission reviewed that, and they were not comfortable with that length of time, and they recommended to the Board of Supervisors that you grant a 90-day extension, as opposed to something that long, given the status of this plan. Was in once, not back in again, and had significant issues with it.
Then I'd entertain a motion to grant a 90-day
As
extension.
lacking as that plan was in detail, why are we giving them a time extension to fix a plan that's so bad?
Well, I think it's reasonable, given the comments that were generated, that they get some time to correct that. However, my guess is, after 90 days, if this plan doesn't come back in, your planning commission will be recommending that you reject this plan.
So 90 days, in your opinion, does not expose the township or hurt the township in any way?
I don't believe so. I think it's a good faith gesture.
Okay. So I don't think we're rewarding them for sloppiness, Mr. Steve. We're giving them a chance to fix their issues. So was there a motion in a second or no?
I'll make a motion to extend the 34 Wesley Road for 90 days.
Is there a second for that?
I'll second.
All those in favor, Mr. Rhodes?
Yeah.
Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
The next item, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is a issue that I've been working on with the solicitor and the developer for the Chestnut Hill property. They've obtained their NPDS permit. Basically, their plans are sitting at conditional final plan approval. The only thing that is outstanding with this project is their HOP for their new entrance drive, this cul-de-sac street that will go up and turn around and come back out. They are, because they have their NPDS permit and a conditional final plan approval, they'd like to move earth, which they are entitled to do. However, I advised them that I would have concerns if they did not establish their developer's agreement and an escrow with the township before starting that. So they have submitted that. We provided comment and sent it back to them. Did they get it back to, we don't have it here this evening.
I have his executed copy. Right?
Okay, you have his executed copy? Okay.
Yeah, he dropped it off.
Okay, so then with the solicitor's review of that, I think I would be requesting the board consider authorizing that agreement so that the developer could start earth-moving activities. He cannot pull permits, and he cannot routinely access that property with the state that it is now. He's just doing earth work on it.
A question about that property. Wasn't there supposed to be a tree exchange?
That's not the tree exchange property. The tree exchange property is the one across from Penske.
Oh, okay.
They do have to do tree restoration, but the donation of, I think, 18 trees is associated with the escrow for the one across from Penske.
Okay.
Does that require a
Yeah,
motion?
yeah. So, yeah, we'd be looking for a motion.
I was gonna say, I'll make a motion pending the solicitor's review of the agreement that we approve and accept. There's a letter of credit here,
Should be
the
two.
stormwater management practices, easements, and improvement agreement.
Is there a second to that motion? I'll second it. All those in favor, Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
Okay, the next item is Rock Hollow Woods. This is a revision of plan of record, and I have those plans here this evening. The plan has been before the township for at least 2 years now, right? And there are some representatives here from Rock Hollow Woods. This again is a revision of plan of record. So there was a plan that was approved several years back That included an environmental learning center that was gonna be constructed on the site. And I don't know the full history of what happened, but essentially you were able to acquire lands adjacent to you, right? So the funds are not there at this time, if you wanna pass that down, to complete the construction of this building. They have an escrow standing with the township, and they essentially wanted to not construct the building and only construct a portion of the required improvements, which were essentially driveway and stormwater related. In the process of working through that, the existing garage towards the front of the property was renovated essentially without permits, right?
Correct.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the end of that, was renovated without?
Without permits, okay? So during discussions with this, Technicon and our office, as well as some township staff, met with them to correct these issues, and it took a considerable amount of time for them to obtain the permits and approvals through Technicon due to the fact this is a non-residential structure. They had to remove some things to verify that things were done properly, correct some other issues. There was an ADA parking spot issue, all of which have been resolved. They have a certificate of occupancy for that building, and now these plans are adequate for municipal signature.
So we need a motion. I'll be glad to make that motion if all is in order. This has been a good project, and I'll be glad to make that motion
Is there gonna be a
to execute
celebration
those
of the
plans.
process?
Is that it? Is that what you need?
Correct.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Rhodes. All those in favor, Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
Okay, don't lose track of them. I've held them for several months now. I don't wanna lose them now. We need to sign them.
Don't worry, I have plenty of copies.
Okay, next item that I have is with respect to our Green Light Go grant application. And last time we spoke, we were working on finalizing construction costs for this, which will need to be submitted with the grant by the end of this month. We have done that. I did circulate this as part of my report. The grant funding that we will be seeking is for $254,377.33. That's the total cost. This project entails signal head upgrades, upgrades to the signal detectors, the controllers, some electrical equipment, as well as as much emergency preemption as we could fit into this proposal, because we were limited on certain things. PennDOT seems to be receptive of this application. I have my hopes up that it will fare well. Our match is 20%, which is $50,875.47. What we're asking the board for this evening is approval of a resolution, as well as a what they're calling a letter of
Funding commitment.
funding commitment that basically says you have ability to obtain your funding match of $50,875.47, so that they will consider releasing their balance of whatever that works out to be.
203.
Yeah, 203,000, 203,501.87. So overall, I think this would be a substantial upgrade to both. This is for both Gibraltar Road and Green Hills intersections out here on 724. It will allow us some leeway with adjusting of signal timing. And my understanding is it will also help us in the future possibly obtain grants to help out with the Gibraltar Firehouse and some of the signals associated with that. So the request is for the resolution and the letter of commitment.
We had previously committed to this. I think there's a question back there.
Yeah, the question is, what is included with the signals that are there now?
With
Or
respect
will
to,
we still have,
your process will still operate as it is.
okay,
Okay. And it will not affect the two smaller fire signals adjacent to the department.
You may be referring to the fire company process as it relates to those signals. Is that not true, Mr. Engineer
Yes.
Rowe?
yes.
So
Would we eventually get buttons in the truck because it's,
you will, but I don't think that will be tied to how it operates with respect to, clearing that intersection when you guys go out. There's a button you push in the firehouse, right?
Correct.
You will still do that to exit the firehouse and to enter the firehouse. However, if the police cars approach that intersection or you folks approach that intersection, there will be a newer preemption that will activate that signal,
Yeah, 'cause
okay? The
trying
next,
to remember to push the button while you're
I
trying to
know.
do everything else
we
is
were
a
not,
problem.
there's a lot of restrictions that with this green light go, application. Our discussions with PennDOT were that this is step one, but that could potentially be at step two with other funding solutions to help you guys out, where when you get in the trucks and the doors go up, that would just all happen automatically. So,
Okay.
this is the first step to help us eliminate our congestion issue, and then, coming back with you guys will be another one. But there were certain things, we could only fit a certain amount of preemption costs into the grant application. There were limits associated with that. It's kind of like when you fill out your taxes. If you do this, then it affects that, and, we were kind of limited with we're trying to not make costs spiral out of control with this, and we weren't able to fit your situation into this. That wasn't a financial concern, that was just based upon the funding.
Okay.
But they will have Opticon so that anybody else responding can hit it, change the light,
And if you,
ambulance, fire, police.
and if you have that in your truck, if you didn't hit that building, it will clear the lights when you turn that on. But it won't affect, you will still have that system that's in the firehouse.
Okay.
Okay, but that's on our radar too. If a grant comes up that we can improve that, once this is in, I think we have much better standing to obtain that grant. Right now, they'd probably never give it to us because of the state of those signals.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-09, which is dealing with the Green Light Go project. Do we need a separate motion for the signing the letter of
You
commitment?
can combine it if you'd like it.
Oh, I can make it included,
Yeah.
as well as signing the letter of commitment.
Have a second to that motion?
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor, Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
Okay. Next item is the Brookside School zoning variance application. This is a variance application that I did forward around to you as an email as well. This is the property on Zion Road. This was handed out to the Planning Commission. I didn't have this digitally. There's an existing single-family home and farm on this property. The applicant is seeking variance relief in front of your zoning hearing board from sections 403B of the zoning ordinance and section 802B of the zoning ordinance. Essentially, what they are asking for is two things. They don't want to subdivide the property, so they're asking for a second principal use. So they currently have a farm and a home on the property. They're asking to be permitted to have now a school, an Amish schoolhouse on the property as well. Our zoning ordinance only allows one principal use, as most do, on any property. Okay. The second request is to have a school in the R2 zoning district. A school is not permitted within the R2 zoning district. So they need two variance relief, two sections of the zoning ordinance for this. The Planning Commission did take a favorable position on this application. With some concerns, one of the areas that they're looking at to put the school, they want to make sure there's adequate site distance requiring a land development plan, things of that nature. This is scheduled to go before your ZHB. I don't know that date, Harold, do you know when this goes in front of them?
No, Ted posted the property today, so it's probably this month yet.
So let's see what the zoning hearing board says, and you'll go from there.
Okay. It's up to you if you want to take a position or not. There is, I believe, a representative here from the church, if you have any questions.
No questions.
I got sent out here last minute, so I didn't.
So you're happy. Next item, Engineer Road.
Okay. Items H and I am going to combine, and take one and pass this down. Sorry I didn't have this out to you sooner, and I'm not asking for any action on these two items this evening. Barry and I were able to find time to get together earlier this week. or maybe late last week, now I don't recall. There was a concern regarding Hopewell Road and guide rail, which was continually hit, I believe now 5 or 6 times. So we were out there looking at ways to improve that. We had sent out an email to LTAP, which I think I circulated to you after the last meeting. And in our discussions, we were discussing possibly adding some line painting at that location, the slow arrows, things of that nature, as well as rumble strips to alert motorists of the hazardous turns. And as we were talking, we came up with more and more areas in the township which the line painting could be refreshed, okay? So what I have given you here this evening is just some general costs that I put together to give you an idea. If we can just read through these 2 pages quickly. The first are the 2 intersections we just discussed out here with the signals on 724, Gibraltar Road and Green Hills Road. They are both township intersections, and the line painting associated with them is the responsibility of the township. For many years, the road crew partnered with Carnarvon Township and painted them by hand. Carnarvon Township no longer does that. They contract out, okay? So I gave 2 options, and you can read through here. One is for waterborne, the other one is for thermoplastic markings, just to give you an idea of where I think this would come in price. So that's the first 2. The next page at the top is all of our railroad crossings, which are Cedar Hill Road, Old River Road, Seifert Drive, and Rock Hollow Road. Again, 2 options, one for just the waterborne painting, and the second for the thermoplastic. They haven't been painted as long as I've been here, and most of them no longer exist, but you know, they should be there. Finally, item D was the Hopewell Road curve. We're looking at 2 options there. Both options involve the slow curve sign ahead, you know, that goes painted on the roadway, and that would be in both directions. I have an option again for waterborne or the thermoplastic, and then we also looked at, there's 2 different ways that we could install a rumble strip, primarily in the eastbound direction, which is where we're seeing the accidents. The first would be to have rumble strips milled into the road, similar to when you're coming off the turnpike or something like that. The only concern with that would be, there is a house there. The farmhouse sits back, but there's a house to the north. I'm afraid it might be loud, you know, when somebody hits that rumble strip. I don't know, but that's my only concern with that, and as we were looking at it, kind of came to our mind. The other option for a rumble strip would be to take a thermoplastic and basically layer them, you know, and that's a PennDOT approved method. It gives you the rumble, it's not quite as loud, probably doesn't hold up as well.
I see a lot of them plowed off.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that won't, you know. But I just wanted to give the board an idea of what we could do at these locations, pricing, you know, think about it. If you have questions, ideas, etc., talk to Barry, talk to myself. We would like to make movement on some of these. I know Howard and I talked about the bridge work coming up, so does it even make sense to touch the Green Hills Road intersection? Maybe not until that's done. But all just food for thought.
I have a kind of silly question, but maybe other people have it. What is the difference between waterborne and thermoplastic?
So think of water like waterborne, just like spray paint.
Okay.
Right? It's higher end than that. There's PennDOT requirements for it. The thermoplastic is something they put down. It's heat applied. It's more of a plastic heat applied material. It lasts longer.
Okay.
That's why it's more expensive. Makes sense in some situations. In other situations, it doesn't. Like Harold said, it can be plowed off if you're not careful, but does last considerably longer than the paint.
Okay.
The paint, I would say you need to do, you really should do every year, maybe every other year. The thermo, you can probably get away every 4 or 5 years.
Is there any way we could like tie some of this in, because we have the line painters coming out to do the roads that we do. Maybe we could tie some of this to.
See, that's the county contract, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've avoided including this stuff in that contract. I don't know if you could reach out to them and get a better price. My thinking is what we would do is figure out how much of this you had an interest in doing and see where we would fall bidding wise and try to get the best price we could. I was thinking we could even, if we're paying our paving contract out of general funds, we could talk to that line painter and have it added on there. There's a couple different ways that we could try to fit this in this year if we wanted to move forward, and I think we could do well pricing wise if we put them out. No action there, just wanted to get it on your radar, and that's all I have unless you have questions for me or.
I do. Green Hills Estates recreation fees have, we can't seem to find or locate them. As far as I know, they were never paid. Does anybody have any information contrary? And do you want me,
Let's research that.
or do you want me to reach out to the developer and?
Do you want me to verify that number for you? I know we talked earlier.
Yeah, could you
about
do
it.
that and copy us on something, then we'll
Sure.
go from there. That concludes your report. We'll go to Solicitor Marola.
It does.
Thank you. The number B, I also had the Green Light Go grant, as I just, as a reminder, so we didn't miss it. So,
I stole your thunder. I'm
no, we're just making sure we got it booked, it's good. So that's already taken care of. The MOU, police are you first to bring it to the board is, last month you approved the salary for the detective. So, we prepared a memorandum of understanding to have that, that decision brought up to compliance with the CBA. And, with your approval, then I'll pass it along to the association. I can't imagine, it's just really ratifying what the agreement was last month. So, I think that. No, just if it's your approval for me to give to the association, I think, with their, pending their approval, we would take action next week.
We're all in agreement.
All right, and then the deed of dedication for Quaker Hill, that refers to, development, actually a couple of years ago, there was deed of dedication and resolution for that. In researching that, we found there was a mistake in the parcel. So there's no action tonight. We're working with the developer to make sure the legal descriptions are correct. And then, again, confirming with the developer, we should have that hopefully by next Thursday for your approval. And honestly, this is something that they've had for a while, so if they don't get it to us before next Thursday, it's not really a problem for the township.
That's it?
That's it.
Public Works, Barry Redinger.
Yeah, Barry couldn't be here tonight. They're going to start their prep work for the road work between Calico and White Bear, Calico between White Bear and Rock Hollow. And they're gonna start working on pipe replacements. And there's a couple of public works applications that were sent out, but one does not have a CDL. And Barry would like to see whether we can't consider possibly hiring this guy as summer help with the possibility of him getting his CDL. And the rest of it, and he also wants us to consider whether we wanna outsource mowing.
We've done both, have we not, outsourced and an in-house guy?
We have done both.
From the public works guy with no CDL, is that gentleman looking for us to pay for that? Do we need to have an agreement?
I haven't gotten that far, but whatever we would do, we would have to do through the bargaining unit to make sure that we're not on the hook for this in the future. The outsourcing of the mowing, I could dig out what we had from before and try and solicit bids. But the summer's coming upon us quick, or the paving season's coming upon us quick. So we got 2 weeks to April, and they need to start working on the roadways so that they're ready for the pavers coming in what, May?
For,
Calico.
we haven't given them the,
Oh, we haven't gotten the date back.
Right.
Okay. So, that's kind of where they are. If you wanted, I'll try to put together the costs associated with the way we've done it in the past, because most people don't know that we're still paying them to the tune of like $300 a week.
And then for him to start the process for hiring summer help, how has he done that in the past, or is that?
Well, once again, if they're willing to take this guy on, and I could find out before Thursday whether this guy's looking for us to pay for the CDL or not. And, then you guys can decide. Did you look at both those applications? The one looks pretty impressive.
Yeah, it does.
So,
Okay, then we'll move forward with that, correct?
yeah, I mean, unless somebody has something. Boy Scouts called, they want to start their annual park cleanup on Monday to March the 23rd.
Now, you're here with the Parks and Rec.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else here from Parks and Rec? Oi, folks out there, if anybody can help. Oh, there you are. Anybody can help, we're gonna be picking up sticks and just doing some general, getting ready for the first mowing. Could you comment on, I read your note from your meeting, your minutes, could you comment on the, we'll call it a celebration day or Founder's Day, just briefly?
I like your notes.
Yeah, thank you.
Great idea.
So I'll stand up and make it official. So I'm Jeff Bolt, I'm Parks and Rec board along with Joshua there, which is new, so thank you, which is awesome. So, yeah, just to your point, there is a, that phone is loud. On March 23rd, 6 o'clock will be at Gibraltar Park, if you want to help with cleanup. Pretty much you're trying to pick up all 6 that are down, all the mess, everything else. We have Boy Scouts volunteering. If you want to come help, that's great as far as that goes. We're looking at what's called a celebration day. It was Mr. Bittler had an idea that he's something dry. We had sort of a thought last year, so with the country's 50th anniversary, what can we as a township do to celebrate along with that as far as that goes, right? Part of it's also looking into, the township was founded in 1729, so a couple years from now will be 300-year anniversary. So looking at what we can do now to celebrate, but also build it into maybe an annual Township Day, Founding Day, Celebration Day as far as that goes. So we have a lot of ideas, which I did email the board. Sorry, I didn't email
Do
on
we
that.
have a date, a potential date?
It's funny, we talked about the weekend of July 4th. We weren't, the question became, is that too soon to get everything organized?
Might be, I threw it out there, but you guys pick your date and we'll work with you.
Yep,
We gotta make sure that there's not something else booked for that
Well,
weekend.
that's what we're going through now, is looking through all the dates. We kind of looked at August, if not July 4th, it seems to be middle of August tends to work. People back from vacation, school hasn't started yet as far as that goes. But really, some of the ideas were, at the park, games for the kids, have a treasure hunt, maybe bounce house, fun crafts, meet the township, which is always important, come meet the board, meet the advisory councils and so on. Just a way to celebrate this year, the anniversary of the country, and then every year forward, how do we celebrate the township? Local businesses, local restaurants, get them all together as far as that goes. Just a fun day for the residents and township to celebrate who we are and what we do within here.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Any questions for our Park and Rec people? Here they are.
Oh, good job on that.
Yep, having heard no questions, we'll see, no EAC action other than the data center was looked at from the planning commission and
Yeah, can we just discuss that very briefly?
absolutely. Take us all the time you want.
So, this was a discussion topic at the planning commission meeting. I started with, both the EAC and planning commission, explaining to them, the existing section in our zoning ordinance, which does cover, uses that are not addressed in the zoning ordinance, which essentially says they are used by special exception in our general industrial zoning district if they're not addressed other places in our zoning ordinance. So just expressing that, things such as the data center are currently addressed de facto in that section.
They're addressed without naming them by name. Sometimes ordinances are so old, there wasn't a thing named a data center in those days.
Correct.
The location that has been bantered about is not eligible for that type of relief, and I don't believe this board would be inclined. I'm not speaking for my colleagues, but I don't believe we were enamored with that concept. Having said that, every property owner has their rights, and can do what they want, but we were just talking about that, were we not, earlier, in terms of that developer has a approval for residential lots. Things have been sitting around too long. Most of this township has, the issues that we have to do with kicking the can down the road on all fronts. And we're gonna try and do a little better job with that. So that's a good update. when he's saying de facto or default, that's generally in an industrial district, which is, you know, where you put things where something else isn't named. However, I also discussed a little bit of the concept of the comprehensive and regional zoning issue. So we are part of that, and if another neighboring township may have zoning for something, that may also qualify. Those two concepts interact, and you'll hear more about that later.
So, we did go on and we looked at current draft ordinances, which are before Carnarvon Township, Coomer Township, Warwick, Chester, and there was another one, it's evading me at the moment. And we discussed, what are the important things, right? What zoning district would you put it in, how would you put it in there, special exception, conditional use? What type of criteria would you establish, building height, lot size, etc. Based upon those discussions, I think that myself and the planning commission have an idea of how we would go about preparing or at least adjusting the draft that's currently before
Can
the
you
township.
do that till next month? I
That
know
was gonna be my question. So is the board agreeable to taking something like that back to the planning commission, letting them continue to vet that and bring it back to you?
Absolutely, that'd be the proper procedure, correct?
Absolutely.
All right, so it's not reasonable, you won't be here for this Thursday, but we wanna keep it moving, we wanna, you know,
So are you guys looking to create yet another ordinance, or are you looking to tweak what we already have?
Well, again, this is a question for you. So this would be this would essentially be a data center ordinance in our, it would be an amendment to our zoning ordinance.
Yeah, I mean,
so we need an ordinance, it's a question of whether you're not gonna rewrite something total, or are you gonna work with what we have, is that your bottom line?
We're gonna bring back a data center draft for you to look at.
Okay, good.
But I think what Harold's getting at is,
we should be including it in what we already have.
and we can do that,
We'll keep making standalone ordinances. People go to look for something, you can't find it.
That's another problem of kicking the can down the road as it relates to our ordinances, which we're gonna work on.
So, I mean.
So we'll incorporate in our zoning, that is a slightly different thing than, a standalone ordinance. That's a slightly different procedure, correct, Mr. Marola?
Yeah, you come and put it into your zoning ordinance.
Correct.
Because every time somebody comes up with some new idea, we'll be adding new ordinances, and that's not what we wanna do. And, you know, having a catch-all in there we currently have, which protects us against most of what this data center wants to do, is what we need.
All right, well, then get back to us till next month, make sure you get a copy to Mr. Marola.
we'll coordinate.
All right, so that takes care of the EAC, old business, new business. Is there any other business before this board? If not, I'll entertain we do want to announce an executive session addressing litigation personnel issues that occurred on, today is the,
It's 11.
and when
Today's
did,
the 12th.
when did that occur, Mr. Slush?
11th. The 11th.
On March 11th, 4 supervisors were together discussing personnel matters. Ms. Fix was unavailable. Any other business before this board? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. And we're not cutting you off, but we will adjourn.
I just have plans to.
We got plans to sign. Sir, you got the floor.
Yes.
I just have one question, Mike Martin. Relative to something we discussed a little earlier with the chief position. Chief Castle, when he applied, did he apply or was it just given to him and offered when he was acting chief?
I can't answer that question.
I'm pretty sure he was given it and when he
Well,
was
you just don't give a position. There are certain contractual things that have to occur thereafter. And those contractual things, having just reviewed his contract, he was in compliance with that.
Was there a lot of applicants the last time when chief?
That I can't recall.
It was never posted.
It was never posted. So it's past practice that it would be offered to the acting chief, correct?
Correct.
Of Robeson Township.
I don't know that that's correct, but
It's correct.
I'll certainly.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Rose, you make that motion?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yeah.
I'll vote yes. Thank you, folks, for coming out.
Why does
Oh, shit, we didn't pay the bill. We didn't pay the bill. Well, I shouldn't say it. Well, yeah, we can, but.
Which bills do you want to put?
Do you need Derek to come
Mr.
down?
Mr. Marola, where's our solicitor? Did he leave? Can we call the meeting back into session after we adjourn? Can I make a motion to open the meeting again?
We forgot to pay the bills.
We didn't also note to pay the bills. I'd like to pay the bills, make sure everybody gets done.
Yeah.
So we can do that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm bringing this meeting back into order at 7:15.
8:15.
8:15, I'm sorry. Mr. Rhodes, would you like to pay the bills?
That would not be.
Yes.
Mr. Gulo, would you like to?
Sure, absolutely.
Ms.
Yes,
Fitch?
that would be
Yes.
required given their.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
All right, so that's a motion and a second. We'll pay all the bills that are due and
Made the
outstanding.
motion.
Jeff made the motion, Scott seconded. Thank you,
Thank you.
folks. Now we'll do a motion to adjourn. Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Mr. Gulo? Ms. Fix?
Yes.
Mr. Steve? Mr. Steve?
Thank you, sorry.
And I'll vote yes.
Sorry, do you need Derek to come down at all? Is there anything you need? He's not, well, not yet, but he has to go on. And I will do that, I'll figure out a time that works for him next week to go on.
So if you want to make your copy of this,
Okay, yeah,
so I get a
just,
sign,
yeah, okay, perfect.
and then you can take down the wall.
Yeah, and then he has to sign like the deputy tax collector fee. But I don't know if he needs to go before, but I'll find it, all
Find the
right?
letter that says that, but that's the only way you
Okay,
can.
all right, thank you.
I didn't know.
No, it's,
Everybody wants to sign